How does any living creature endure winds that cut like knives and temperatures that plunge far below freezing, where even breath can freeze in the air within seconds? What kind of body, behavior, and instinct can turn such a deadly place into a home instead of a grave? In a land where snow never truly rests and silence is broken only by howling storms, survival demands more than strength. It demands perfection in adaptation. In these frozen plains, every step is a battle, every breath is a calculated act, and every decision can decide life or death. How can a creature stand still while the world itself seems determined to erase it? What hidden design allows it to survive where most life simply cannot exist? Today we explore the life of the Arctic muskox. Before birth even begins, life starts with a harsh struggle for the mother. The female prepares herself during the brief Arctic summer when food becomes slightly more available. She must build enough strength and body reserves to sustain both herself and the life growing inside her. As winter approaches again, the pregnant mother moves slowly across the frozen plains, conserving energy while scanning the horizon for predators. The environment offers little comfort. The ground is often buried under deep snow, and temperatures continue to drop with each passing day. Inside her, the developing calf grows steadily, protected by warmth that contrasts sharply with the freezing world outside. This early stage of life is already shaped by extreme conditions, where even before birth, survival is uncertain and entirely dependent on the mother's ability to endure the cold. When the time finally arrives, birth happens quickly, often in a quiet, hidden area shielded from strong winds. The newborn calf enters a world of immediate danger, where exposure to cold can be fatal within minutes. Within a short time after birth, the calf must attempt to stand on its weak legs. The mother stays close, guiding and protecting it, licking its body to clean and stimulate circulation. This act also helps strengthen the bond between mother and calf, a critical relationship that will define the calf's survival in its earliest days. The air around them remains unforgiving, yet the calf must begin feeding on its mother's milk almost immediately. This milk is rich in fat, providing the energy needed to generate body heat. At this stage, even small delays or weakness can mean death, as the Arctic offers no margin for error. As the calf grows into its juvenile stage, its survival depends on learning the patterns of the herd. The herd itself forms a protective circle when danger approaches, placing the young in the center while the adults face outward. This defensive behavior is essential against predators such as wolves, which rely on isolating weaker individuals. The young muskox observes and gradually learns these defensive formations, as well as how to navigate through deep snow and harsh terrain. Its body begins to develop thicker fur, which will eventually become one of its greatest survival tools. Each day brings new challenges, from finding food under layers of snow to keeping up with the herd during long migrations. Growth is slow but steady, and every moment spent within the herd strengthens its chances of reaching adulthood. Food becomes one of the most critical elements of survival during this stage. The Arctic landscape offers limited vegetation, mainly consisting of grasses, mosses, and small shrubs that survive beneath the snow. The young muskox must learn how to use its hooves and muzzle to dig through the frozen layers to reach these hidden food sources. This behavior requires patience and energy, both of which are scarce in such an environment. The digestive system of the animal is specially adapted to extract nutrients from low-quality forage, allowing it to survive on vegetation that would be insufficient for many other species. Feeding is not just a routine activity. It is a continuous effort to maintain body warmth and energy reserves, especially as temperatures continue to fall. As the seasons shift and the calf matures, its role within the herd becomes more active. It begins to participate more in group movements and defensive formations, slowly transitioning from dependence to contribution. The thick coat that defines the species becomes fully developed, consisting of two layers: a dense inner layer that traps heat and a long outer layer that protects against wind and moisture. This natural insulation allows the animal to withstand extreme cold that would otherwise be lethal. During severe storms, the herd often stands still, facing the wind together, minimizing exposure. The young muskox learns to endure these conditions by following the behavior of the adults, gradually building resilience through experience rather than instinct alone. Social structure plays a vital role in survival. The herd is not just a random gathering of individuals, but a tightly coordinated unit. Leadership often shifts based on movement and environmental awareness rather than strict hierarchy. Communication within the herd occurs through body positioning, movement, and vocal signals. When a threat is detected, the herd quickly forms a defensive ring, a powerful strategy that protects the weaker members. The young musk ox learns to recognize these signals and respond accordingly, understanding that isolation increases vulnerability. This collective behavior is one of the most effective survival strategies in the Arctic, where cooperation often determines whether the group survives or falls to predators and environmental stress. As the musk ox continues to grow, it faces the increasing demands of long winters. Food becomes harder to access as snow layers deepen and storms become more frequent and intense. The animal must rely on stored body fat and efficient energy use to survive periods when food is scarce. Movement slows down during extreme cold to conserve energy, and the herd may remain in one area for extended periods if conditions allow. Every action becomes deliberate, every movement measured. The balance between energy intake and energy conservation becomes the central challenge of life in this environment. Survival is no longer about growth alone, but about maintaining stability in a world that constantly tests endurance. By the end of this stage, the musk ox has transformed from a vulnerable newborn into a resilient juvenile, capable of facing the Arctic's harsh realities. Its body, behavior, and instincts have been shaped entirely by the environment, preparing it for the next phase of life where survival becomes even more demanding. As the young musk ox steps into adulthood, how does it continue to survive in a place where every storm feels like a living force and every day demands strength beyond limits? What changes when dependence on the mother fades and survival becomes fully individual, yet still tied to the unity of the herd? In the vast frozen plains, adulthood is not a destination but a continuous test of endurance, awareness, and adaptation. The winds grow stronger, the winters longer, and the margin for error even smaller. How does a fully grown musk ox maintain energy, defend itself, and continue its life cycle in such an unforgiving world? In adulthood, the musk ox's body reaches its full physical adaptation to the Arctic environment. Its thick, double-layered coat is now fully developed, forming a natural barrier against extreme cold and biting winds. The inner layer traps warm air close to the body, while the outer layer acts like a shield, allowing snow and ice to slide off instead of melting into the fur. This prevents heat loss and keeps the skin dry even in blizzard conditions. Beneath this protective coat lies a compact, powerful body designed to conserve heat efficiently. Short legs reduce exposure to cold surfaces, while a stocky build minimizes surface area, helping retain warmth. These physical traits are not random. They are the result of generations of survival in one of the harshest climates on Earth. Feeding remains one of the most critical daily activities for the adult musk ox. Even though the Arctic appears barren, life exists beneath the snow. The musk ox uses its strong hooves to break through frozen layers, uncovering hidden vegetation such as grasses and mosses. This process requires both strength and patience, as food sources are scattered and often buried deep. During winter, when food is scarce, the animal must travel longer distances with the herd in search of suitable feeding grounds. Energy conservation becomes essential, so movements are slow and deliberate. Each feeding session is not just about nourishment, but about sustaining body heat and maintaining survival balance in freezing temperatures. The herd continues to play a vital role in adult life, especially during periods of danger. Predators such as wolves pose a constant threat, particularly to isolated or weakened individuals. When danger is detected, the herd quickly forms a defensive circle, with adults positioning themselves outward and calves or vulnerable members protected in the center. The adults stand firm, facing the threat with lowered heads and curved horns ready for defense. This formation creates a powerful barrier that deters predators from attacking directly. Cooperation within the herd is instinctive, and each member understands its role in maintaining group safety. Isolation is dangerous, and staying connected to the herd remains one of the strongest survival strategies in the Arctic. As the seasons progress, the musk ox must endure long periods of extreme weather, especially during winter storms. Temperatures can drop to severe lows, and wind speeds can intensify the cold even further, creating a wind chill effect that feels far more dangerous than the actual temperature. During such storms, the herd often remains stationary, facing the wind collectively. This positioning minimizes exposure and reduces heat loss. The musk ox's thick coat, combined with its ability to remain still and endure, allows it to withstand conditions that would be fatal to many other animals. Survival during storms is not about movement, but about stillness, patience, and resilience. Energy management becomes even more important in adulthood. The musk ox must balance the energy it gains from feeding with the energy it loses to the cold. During times when food is abundant, the animal builds up fat reserves that act as a stored energy source for harsher periods. These reserves are slowly used when food becomes scarce, especially during the peak of winter. The digestive system continues to extract maximum nutrients from low-quality vegetation, ensuring that nothing is wasted. This efficiency is critical in an environment where every calorie counts and food availability is unpredictable. Mating season marks a significant phase in the adult musk ox's life. During this period, competition among males increases as they compete for dominance and access to females. Physical displays and confrontations occur, where males test each other's strength and endurance. These interactions involve pushing and locking horns in controlled struggles that demonstrate power rather than aggression aimed at causing fatal injury. The outcome of these encounters often determines mating rights, ensuring that the strongest individuals contribute to the next generation. This process helps maintain the genetic strength of the population, favoring individuals best adapted to survive the extreme Arctic conditions. Throughout adulthood, environmental awareness becomes an essential survival skill. The musk ox must constantly remain alert to changes in weather, predator movements, and food availability. It learns to read subtle signs in the environment, such as shifting winds or distant movements in the snow. This awareness, combined with herd communication, allows the animal to respond quickly to threats. Survival is not only physical, but also behavioral, requiring constant attention and adaptation to an environment that is always changing, yet always harsh. As adulthood continues, the musk ox transitions into a stable but demanding phase of life, where survival depends on maintaining strength, staying within the herd, and adapting to the relentless cycles of Arctic seasons. Every day reinforces the balance between endurance and efficiency, shaping the animal into one of the most resilient species in the frozen world. In the final stage of life, how does a creature that has endured endless winters, violent storms, and constant survival pressures face the inevitable decline of its strength while still standing firm in one of the harshest environments on Earth? What happens when age begins to slow the body, yet the Arctic shows no mercy and continues its relentless cycle of freezing winds and limited resources? In a land where survival is a lifelong battle, even the strongest must eventually confront the limits of time. How does the musk ox remain part of the herd when its physical power begins to fade, and what role does it play in ensuring the survival of the next generation? As the musk ox grows older, its body begins to show signs of wear. The thick coat that once felt like an impenetrable shield may become slightly less efficient over time, especially as grooming and maintenance become more difficult. Movement slows down, and energy levels decrease compared to its younger years. However, the instincts developed over a lifetime remain sharp. The animal continues to rely on learned behaviors, such as staying close to the herd, positioning itself during storms, and conserving energy whenever possible. Even in aging, the musk ox does not isolate itself. Instead, it remains integrated within the group, where collective protection continues to offer safety against predators and environmental threats. Feeding in later life becomes more challenging as strength declines. Digging through deep snow to reach vegetation requires more effort, and the animal must carefully manage its energy to avoid exhaustion. The herd often moves together to areas where food is more accessible, allowing older members to benefit from the group's movement patterns. Younger individuals may take more active roles in locating and accessing feeding grounds, indirectly supporting the entire herd, including the elderly. This subtle cooperation ensures that even aging musk oxen can continue to sustain themselves for as long as possible. Survival at this stage is less about dominance and more about endurance, patience, and reliance on the herd's shared rhythm. Predator awareness remains critical throughout the final stage of life. Older musk oxen, being slower, may be more vulnerable if isolated. However, their continued presence within the herd significantly reduces this risk. When threats appear, even aging individuals participate in defensive formations, contributing to the protective circle that defines musk ox survival strategy. While they may not be at the front lines as actively as younger adults, their presence still strengthens the group's overall defense. The herd's unity ensures that no single member bears the full burden of survival alone. reflecting a deeply rooted system of mutual protection that spans every stage of life. Reproduction, while primarily associated with younger adults, still plays an indirect role for older musk oxen. By this stage, many individuals have already contributed to the next generation, ensuring the continuation of the species. The legacy of survival is carried forward not only through offspring, but also through the behaviors and instincts passed down through the herd. Younger members learn by observing the older ones, absorbing knowledge about movement, feeding, and responding to environmental threats. In this way, aging musk oxen contribute to the survival of future generations simply by being part of the social structure and demonstrating the behaviors that have allowed the species to endure for so long. As the Arctic seasons continue their unending cycle, older musk oxen experience the environment with a sense of familiarity shaped by years of repetition. They have survived countless winters, witnessed storms that reshaped the landscape, and endured conditions that tested their limits repeatedly. This accumulated experience becomes an invisible strength, guiding their responses even when physical power begins to decline. While the body weakens, the mind remains aligned with the rhythms of the Arctic, allowing the animal to navigate its surroundings with practiced awareness. Eventually, like all living beings, the musk ox reaches the final phase of life. Its energy reserves diminish, its movements slow further, and its ability to keep up with the herd may become limited. In such cases, the animal may still remain close to the group as long as possible, benefiting from the protection and support it offers. The Arctic does not pause or soften for aging life. Instead, it continues its cycles of freezing winds, drifting snow, and shifting landscapes. In this environment, death is not marked by a single dramatic moment, but by a gradual return to the natural cycle, where every life contributes to the broader balance of the ecosystem. In the end, the life of the musk ox reflects a complete journey of survival shaped entirely by the Arctic environment. From the fragile beginnings of birth to the strength of adulthood and the quiet resilience of old age, each stage is defined by adaptation, cooperation, and endurance. The species stands as a powerful example of how life can persist in even the most extreme conditions on Earth, not through isolation, but through unity, resilience, and an unbroken connection to the environment it calls home.